Hi guys, welcome to another wet, windy Monday morning here in the UK. So I thought I'd spend some time in my garage doing an unboxing review on my new tool. As you can see here, I have the new Hikoki finishing nailer. I purchased it on Friday from the West Midlands Tool Show at West Bromwich Albion Football Club in West Bromwich there. They're just north of Birmingham. And they had all the manufacturers out with their various displays of new products, new kit for this year, and they were doing a few demonstrations. Hikoki had quite a good setup there with all their new nailer products. They've got some good circular saws, mitre saws, and a lot of good kit coming out. So yeah, I was sorely tempted. I've never had a nail gun so far, so this is my first purchase into that kind of that area of machinery. In the past I have tried Paslodes and DeWalt's I've borrowed from other people for short periods of time, and yeah, they're okay. The Paslodes obviously use the gas cartridges, which require yearly servicing, and you've got the ongoing cost of buying the gas cartridges. So I suppose up until that point that had kind of put me off investing in it myself, especially with the amount of time that I'd actually use that type of tool. And since I have heard quite a few good things about the Hikoki nailers, quite a few other YouTubers have done videos on them and been quite impressed, I thought I'd take the plunge and give it a go with one of their smaller finishing nailers. This is a 16 gauge model using the lithium ion batteries, and there's no add-ons, it is literally just battery only. So it should be a very easy product to use, and I thought I'd give it a go really. So I'll open the box, let's get it out, and we'll see what we've got really. Right, as you can see, it comes in one of these plastic stacking cases, which is pretty good for storage. This is the particular model number, so it's the NT1865DM cordless finishing nailer. It's a brushless model and it uses lithium ion batteries, 18 volts. This is the packaging blurb on the side of the box. I happen to think that the JXZ that you have on the end of this code is probably the package version. So not only is it a tool only, but because I've purchased this with batteries and chargers and so on, I believe the XJZ is the add-on, so you get it all as a package. Don't quote me on that, you'll have to do your own research if you want to purchase this product. But I'll show you what it includes, because some of the accessories that came with it were thrown in from the show, so if you choose this model any time in the future you might not get exactly that, but I'll talk you through it anyway. Right, okay, so yeah, lovely little drawstring bag here. Instructions on the gun itself. This is obviously some kind of disclaimer in multiple languages on how to use it safely, operating temperatures. We have the charger, so it's an 18 volt charger. I believe Hikoki probably do smaller capacity batteries because it says 14.4 volt to 18. And looks like you've got the charging indicator on there, a red LED light which will illuminate when it's charging. I believe there might be another model of charger available, because apparently one of them does have a USB port for charging your phone, so maybe there's two different versions of this, but you can see the model number of this charger if you want to check that out. Right, got some safety glasses here. I seem to get a pair of these every time I buy something new, so I've got 50 million of them now, so that's lovely. Safety first. Right, here is the monster in question. So this fella comes included with one 3 amp battery already attached on it. And they've also given me a second one here. So this is another 3 amp. So I've got a kit of 2 there. And I'm guessing if you buy this from most retailers as a package kit, this is likely what you'll get. You can probably choose it with a charger and you'll get 2 batteries, and I think the most basic battery setup they do is the 3 amp 18 volt setup. This model, I understand, is also compatible with Hikoki's new multi-volt battery system, so they can take all of the different types of batteries that they do, both the 18 volt and the multi-volt, which takes you up to 36 volts. But frankly, in terms of just having a first gun set up and keeping the weight light, I'm perfectly happy with 3 amp really. Right, in terms of the little extras that I got given from the show, they were lovely enough to give me 3 boxes of brad nails. These are straight 16 gauge brad nails. So they're giving me 1.5 inch, 2.5 inch and just 2 inch. Or in real money that would be 38mm, a 50mm and a 63mm. From the specification of this gun, I'm led to believe it's quoting it can do the smallest size nail, which is 25mm, and the largest size nail it can do is 65mm. So actually that's pretty impressive in terms of the size range, and I think it gives you a good halfway house between having this as a first fix nailer, a second fix nailer rather. Second fix nailer to do all of your architraves, skirtings, and the fact that it can probably do to a degree some small framing tasks without upping the ante to a full scale first fix gun. I believe they do a model the 1890 which takes 90mm nails, so that's even more of a monster than this monster. So yeah, good compromise, and I'm glad it can do such a wide range of sizes really. So I did actually open one of these packets a bit earlier so I could show you guys what they look like. They're actually bloody heavy, these little boxes. Maybe the sellotape's curled over the side again. So yeah, these are the 38mm ones. So yeah, and I imagine this would be alright for quite a few second fixing tasks. So those are some nice little extras I got from the show, and they gave me a nice thermos flask and a Hikoki t-shirt and all the rest of that kind of bump. So that was all very good of them. I'll just go through the spec of the gun now, and then maybe I'll bung the batteries on charge, and then we can do a few demonstrations a bit later. In terms of the size and weights, I've watched a couple of other YouTube videos of a lot of people saying that the Hikoki guns are quite bulky and heavy. It's true they probably are one of the heavier or bulkier guns on the market. In the specification it quotes, I think it's 3.4 kilograms, and I think that must include the battery, because when I put it on my scales here it does come in at 3.46, I believe. Yep, there you go, included with the 3 amp battery coming at 3.463 grams. So basically almost 3.5 kilograms really. And in terms of the sizes, front to back, looking at round about 285, something like that, approximate measurement. And from the nose to the back of the mechanism, looking at round about 215, 320, something like that. So yeah, it's a big gun, but I personally think you'd probably get used to using the weight of this all day long. And I think that the benefits of not having gas cartridges to switch out, or the maintenance that might come with the Pasload style guns, it would probably outweigh this, and I think you would appreciate the overall benefits of having a gun that just runs purely on battery power. This particular model, as I understand it, with the Hikoki range, they use a design where you have it's manufactured with a pre-sealed air chamber inside here, a pre-sealed piston, and that's what shoots the nails out the end. And I guess the battery simply runs an electric motor that then recoils the mechanism after it's fired for the next shooting. You've got your magazine here, so that's very straightforward to load. It's just a case of pulling it down. It's quite difficult to do this whilst holding the camera and showing you how the various bits work on this. You've also got your belt hook there. It's actually pretty small compared to the one that you get with a first fix gun. That can just be flipped out to the side. Like so. You've also got a lock and unlock switch here, so it's in lock mode at the moment because it's in transit, and that's just a regular mechanical button. Your controls are this kind of digital plastic panel in here. So you've got your battery indicator there, so that will have two lights that illuminate as red when it's fully charged, and that then goes down to half a light when it's half charged, and it blinks when it's going flat basically. I'll show you about some of these functions when I get it up and running, but this is the general overview. Your on-off switch, and on the end here you do have a single fire mode and a bump fire mode. On the magazine here you do have a clip where you can put your soft nosing as well, so you can store that away or you can fit it on the front here. At the minute I have to get that set up, and it depends on what application I'm going to use really. There's the blurb on the side. I think the whole thing's made in China but it seems a very good quality product, very sturdy feeling. You've got these kind of rubber black bump strips all over the body here, and a hard plastic casing. This doesn't feel like a brittle tool at all. It feels really sturdy, and I guess that's kind of backed up by the overall weight of it. But yeah, it does feel well balanced, and I think overall you're probably looking at maybe half a kilogram maximum over the DeWalt model, second fix model, in terms of the weight. I think the DeWalt models, I think it's the 660, I think that comes in at 2.9 kilograms after you've got a battery attached. So it's not too bad, and I think if you get used to using this you'll be absolutely fine. But anyway, I'll bung the battery on charge, and then we'll get going with it really. Right, okay, we'll have a bit of a go at plugging in the charger and get this battery charged up, because of course none of them come with any power when you first get them. So let's plug this fella in. You see it takes pride of place next to the old Makita charger there. Right, so you've got one red light there. I believe from the instructions the red light stays on continuously when it's charging, and when it's ready it then just blinks. So I don't know whether you can hear that, but the fan has started up and it's whirring away. The only thing I would say is, wouldn't it be lovely if it had status symbols like on this Makita charger? Where it's red, for example, on this one when it's flat or is in the process of charging, then it turns to green when it is actually charged. So on this they've only got one LED light in, it's red or red basically. But yeah, we'll live with that. We'll get him charged up. I think it might be 45 minutes on these 3 amp batteries, could be a bit less, but we'll see anyway. And yeah, we'll bung him in the gun and we'll do some demonstrations. Right, okay, loading the nails up. These are 38mm nails. So for this, you just pull the feeder trigger back. I'm sure this process is very similar with many other makes of gun. Get it to so the mechanism of the feeder actually sits behind the nails themselves. And there we have it. Simple as that, especially for someone who's only just bought this gun and doing it for the first time. There we have it. Right, okay, we're all charged up and we're raring to go now. So let's just talk through the setup procedure and the various button controls down here. Right. Okay, so the middle switch there is your on switch. Press that, it should come on. There we go. And you have a green light. So it's green when it's fully charged, I believe. Then it goes to red on the second one here. And then when it needs recharging, the red one starts blinking. That's pretty straightforward, really. Yeah, I think you can actually just press that and it will show you there with this battery status button. So battery status, on, off, and this last one at the back here, you've got your single fire mode and your bump fire mode. There you go, and it just flashes. Just very briefly to switch that into bump fire mode. And you press that again, blue light comes on constantly, and that should be single fire, so you can alternate between the two. I also believe this is one of these machines where if you don't use it for a few minutes at a time, it will automatically just shut itself off to save battery power. Right, so let's give it a go anyway. I've got a couple of scrap bits of roofing battens, that should be fine. I'll just check it out on some single fire shots, and then we'll put it into bump mode and see what that does. Easy, very little kickback, it's just totally instantaneous. And as you can see from that, that has definitely homed those nails. It's probably worth mentioning also that you do have an adjuster dial here, so you can dial in the depth that the nail's home. So this one definitely needs some adjustment on that, because that's just gone way into this roofing batten. Nothing stopping that at all. Let me just put it into bump fire mode. Right, let's give it a go on that and see what it does. Very straightforward. With this you just keep your finger on the trigger, and as soon as this nose depresses, that's when it will fire. Absolutely seamless. It's a really smart job that is actually. Yeah, that's rock solid. There's no way that's coming apart. Yeah, quite impressed. You don't really feel much kickback or vibration anyway. I mean, it is absolutely instant. There's no noise, you don't hear it winding up or any of that silliness that you get on some of the others. And there's no exhaust fumes that you get from the cartridge guns. That kind of dirty, kind of smoky smell. Yeah, it's great. What I'll do is I'll probably just play around with the depth adjustment on this and see how we go. But yeah, first impressions looking good. Yeah, as you can see, that's homed it big time, that has. Right, I've had a bit of a fiddle with the depth adjustment setting. I think I've managed to get it down to about 2 mil, down from probably more like 3 or 4. It just shows how powerful this thing is. So yeah, I don't know how good you are. My camera there. Yeah, you might not be able to see it on camera, but that's what it looks like. Yeah, it's a very powerful gun. It might also be worth pointing out that this gun does have a nail release mechanism in it, so if you do get any jams, you can just lift up this flap here, unhinge it, and you've got an access point there where you can release any bent nails. Should just snap back in place. I haven't had any jams in this in the demo session I've done so far. It's just worked impeccably, but I suppose it's good to know that they've designed that in there. I'm not sure whether you actually get that feature on the larger first fix gun. I've continued to adjust the depth gauge to see if I can just back it off a bit and just see if I can get a bit of a shallower hit on those nails. And it seems as though that 2 mil that I was shooting to is about what it's capable of. As you can see here, the depth gauge is attached to a little thread there, which backs on and off this nosing piece. And if I take that thread out any further or wind it out any more, that actually comes out. So what I've got it to there is about max. What I'm going to do now, I think, I'm just going to play around with this scrap of this bit of pine moulding here and just shoot it into here, just see how much of an indent it creates on the surface. I mean, it shouldn't really be a big deal if it goes in fairly deep. It's just one of those things where when the painter goes around, they're going to have to fill it in. But let's just have a quick go at that. Start up the gun again. Preferably doing this one-handed, get it to sit still. There you go. Definitely in now, isn't it? I'll just try it on this thinner section here. Ah, now that's a difference. Now this nose obviously doesn't sit completely flat on that there because you've got a curved edge. so it has actually brought that out, so it's now proud. So that's probably where you need to make a judgment. Now if I drive that in a little bit more on the dial, you can probably set it up about right for this type of application. So yeah, it seems as though it's a judgment call. That one there's gone about flush, I'd say. Whereas that one there is sticking out proud, because that one was in a bit of a hollow. These ones here on the actual curved section, they're properly in. You wouldn't need a lot to fill those though. So I think it's just one of those things, if you're doing whole sections of various mouldings and so on, architrave, you just need to dial it in and out as necessary really, and just get used to the thickness of the timber or the MDF you go into. But if that's how it behaves when it's wound out as far as possible, then that's not too bad, because it looks like here you can get it to come out quite a bit shallower if necessary. So what do I think in conclusion of this monster machine? Yeah, pretty good overall. The minus points are the investment price is slightly higher than what you'd expect from a Paslode or DeWalt or several of the other brands that are on the market today. Possibly these controls down here are a little overcomplicated, need simplifying. Hopefully it will last well. You won't get dry joints or anything like that playing up on them. I think perhaps the weight and the bulk could be reduced slightly, but overall I think the benefits of this machine probably outweigh that, and I think you'll just get used to using it in the way that you do. It's actually very well balanced. The performance is very good. There's no shortage of power, and I think you pay for the fact that the tool is maintenance free, you don't have the gas cartridges, and it's a simple grab and use kind of tool. So on that basis I would say it's probably a worthy investment, and assuming this relatively new technology is reliable, I think you should have many years of good service out of it, and it should have proved to be very efficient really. So yeah, I'd say it's recommended, and hopefully I will carry on buying Hikoki tools, but we will see. Perhaps I'll make a few more videos where I do some projects and this is involved in some of the tasks. That might be good. It's probably worth mentioning actually that yeah, you've probably seen I'm wearing a Hikoki t-shirt. That was another freebie that I got from the show. So I don't actually work for Hikoki, and I'm not sponsored or endorsed by them in any way, shape or form. I just thought it'd be fitting for the video really, and I got this particular gun on a good price on the day, plenty of extras with it that you wouldn't normally get when you buy one in the store. So yeah, I had to have it. That swayed the decision for me, and I took a chance on it. So yeah, highly recommended. Give it a go possibly. So yeah, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, do whatever you like. This is my interpretation of the tool. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks, over and out.